The Pokemon Premier League, or PPL, is one of the most prestigious Pokemon draft leagues on YouTube. But what the hell is the PPL NX? This is a league that I have officially joined along with 47 other players. You heard that correctly. This league is absolutely massive, 3 times or even 4 times the size of most Pokemon draft leagues. However, the prize for winning this massive league is highly sought after, as you punch your own ticket to the Pokemon Premier League this summer. But in order to win this massive league, you are going to have to go through a gauntlet, and that is what I intend to do. This 48-team gauntlet is broken up as follows. There are 4 separate divisions: Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Tapu Bulu, and Tapu Lele. Each division is 12 teams and will have their very own unique snake draft. Amongst each division, there are 2 groups of 6. These groups determine who your opponents are for the first stage. I ended up in Group 1 of the Tapu Koko division, meaning my 5 opponents are as follows: Shroomraver, Eli, Elfowls, Incog, and Bruno. It's a hell of a gauntlet, but I'm very excited to see how it turns out. What this also means is that while going through the draft process, you know which 5 teams you have to maybe counter draft. Normally in a Pokemon draft league, you do not know who your opponents may be, as the schedule is randomized after the draft is completed. This makes this draft quite a bit different and adds a bit more strategy during the draft process. I won't fully break down the point system as it is a bit complicated, but the biggest thing you need to know is that you want to win as many games as you possibly can. After stage 1 is complete, we will do a stage 2. Stage 2 is basically the exact same thing as stage 1, except the rules are different surrounding the Terra mechanic. After stage 1 and stage 2 are complete, the top 16 point getters amongst those 2 stages combined will qualify for the grand final double elimination bracket. This means if you did incredibly well in stage 1 and just okay in stage 2, you will probably qualify for that top 16. It also means you are never out of it, as if you do poorly in stage 1 but end up winning the entire thing in stage 2, you will also qualify for that grand final double elimination bracket. For stage 1, the draft rules are fairly simple. You can draft 10 to 12 Pokemon to your roster. You have 120 points to use to gain those Pokemon. It is a snake draft format, and something brand new for me is there is no Terra in this stage. This is actually a bit of a refreshing change for me, and I'm excited to see how it goes. With all that out of the way, let me go and introduce you to the Toronto Razor Leafs for stage 1 of the PPL NX. Cinderace. Terra might not be allowed in this league, but we can still change our type with this Libero ability. U-turn for momentum, a fantastic breaker, and a way to switch hazards from our side to the other side. I cannot wait to get my hands on this thing. Zapdos. An oldie but a goodie, this Gen 1 electric flyer has the static ability to paralyze our opponents, Volt Switch for momentum, Roost for recovery, and a fantastic typing. Keldeo. Stab, Vacuum Wave priority, very strong Surf and Hydro Pumps, and Flip Turn for momentum. This thing is going to put in a ton of work this season. Azumarill. Double water types are never a bad thing, with the Thick Fat and Sap Sipper giving it more defensive options and huge power doubling its attack stat. With Aqua Jet and Belly Drum, this thing can potentially go crazy any given week. Gardevoir. Speaking of double types, we've got Double Fairy, as I think dragons are very strong in our format this season, so I thought having dual fairies could be very good at countering that. Being a good Choice Scarf or Choice Specs user, Gardevoir Moonblast's going to hit like a truck. CLODSIRE, filling a really nice gap with our team, giving us a ground type, a grounded poison, and a water absorb mon. This thing can have double type immunities while also being able to set hazards or even set up defensively. If you don't bring Roar, this thing could potentially sweep a team if it is not dealt with quickly. Haxorus. My all-time favorite Dragon-type Pokemon, with the Mold Breaker ability being able to ignore abilities on the other side. After one Dragon Dance, this thing can go nuts. Add First Impression in for super strong priority, and this thing is a threat every single week. Fortress. We needed a really nice physical defensive piece on the team. With the Steel and Bug typing, this thing is not weak to ground type attacks, even though it is Steel. It is absolutely terrified of a fire attack, but as long as we play around that well, this thing can be a fantastic physical check, while also giving us another hazard removal option and setting up more hazards for ourselves. Umbreon. A mon that I previously used in the IBL, this thing can be an absolute tank, and if you don't prep for it, this thing can actually single-handedly win games with Toxic, with Wish, Thunder Wave, Roar, and it can be a fantastic Wish passer with Baton Pass as well. Volbeat. This thing at only 1 point might be the steal of our draft. I don't know how many times I will bring it, but the prankster ability with moves like Encore, Tailwind, Thunderwave, and Roost, paired with the fact that it gets slow U-turn, this thing can actually be a menace. Noctowl. Another 1 point Pokemon. I felt like this was another value pick. Normal gives us a ghost immunity, Flying is another ground immunity, the Tinted Lens ability allows us to hit through the not very effective attacks, and it's actually pretty specially bulky with over 100 in HP and special defense. And last but not least, Bulbasaur, our mascot pick. This league allowed us to draft a Pokemon that was 0 points if it wasn't on the spreadsheet, so even though we didn't have any points remaining, we actually added Bulbasaur to the team for free. I don't know if we will bring this guy at all this season, but you better believe I'm going to try and get a championship with this guy on the roster. So guys, that is my team for stage 1 of the PPL NX, and this is going to be the team builder for game number 1 against Shroomraver and the Parasect Germain. Please check out Shroomraver if you haven't before. His YouTube channel is awesome. He does a lot of really hard work in his videos where he does a really cool theme to it. You got to check it out. It is just really, really awesome. That being said, let's dive into the team that we are going to take into his roster. First of all, he's got Jolteon, Ogerpon, Iron Treads, Hydreigon, Moltres, Mesprit, Passimian, Primarina, Dunsparce, Muck, Dusknoir, and Bonsly. Biggest threats on his side that I'm worried about is honestly the Moltres. Defensively, it can check a couple of different mons pretty well. I'm always worried about a Flame Body burn. Iron Treads is always a big deal as well, as it is a good hazard setter and remover. Ogerpon is something you always have to be afraid of, but I think for my team, it really isn't that big a deal. And Jolteon actually can be a bit of a problem just because it's so damn fast. So in order to counter his team, we are bringing Jon Snow the Zapdos this week, bringing it with Hurricane, Heat Wave, Volt Switch, and Roost. 108 into defense, 248 in HP, 24 into special attack, 116 into SpDef, and 12 for speed. The 12 speed investment is basically just so that somebody trying to creep our min speed does not actually speed creep us, as there are some Pokemon right around that range, such as the Hydreigon. Volt Switch is here for momentum and honestly pretty good damage into a good chunk of the team. Hurricane is a pretty free click, as the only real mons that want to switch into a Hurricane are something like maybe a Jolteon or an Iron Treads, and if either one of those switch in, we can easily Volt Switch the Jolteon and we can Heat Wave the Iron Treads. So overall, I think Zapdos is a really, really good mon this week. We're rocking heavy duty boots just so that we don't have to deal with Stealth Rock Chip, and honestly, there's not a lot of mons on his team that deal with this Pokemon very well. Next up to bat is going to be our CLODSIRE with the Shuka Berry item, Poison Jab, Earthquake, Curse, and Recover. Now, CLODSIRE a lot of times is basically just a basic hazard setter, maybe with also Yawn and Recover, something like that, maybe Toxic. But for this set, we're actually looking to try and win with this guy if possible. We're max HP, 252, 168 into SpDef, and 88 into physical defense. Basically, the thought behind this set is that the mons that can actually hit us super effectively with their stab options are something like a Mesprit and the Iron Treads. Now, if that's the case, if it's Iron Treads, and we are in against something like, let's say, the Ogerpon, the Jolteon, the Hydreigon, even the Primarina, these are mons we match up insanely well to, especially the Primarina because of our water absorbability. We will take almost no damage from any of them. He's going to be forced to switch out. Should almost always afford us a free turn to set up with Curse. Now, Curse ups both our physical attack and our physical defense, so that Iron Treadsmon that is originally scary for us is no longer that scary if we're able to get to +1, even +2, especially with the Shuka Berry item. We can actually boost ourselves up and then KO it back with an Earthquake. There is a world here where if we get some of these Pokemon low enough and we get to +2, with Recover, CLODSIRE is basically unkillable and can actually sweep the team. Next up is an offensive setup threat though, rather than the defensive setup threat. And this week we're rocking the Unnerve ability rather than Mold Breaker. Now the Unnerve is here basically just to make sure that nothing can eat a berry in front of us. I don't want something to live because it has a poison resist berry or a ground resist berry, something like that. I could very easily see Iron Treads running Shuka Berry to be able to live a +1 hit from us, but not so fast. That's not going to work as we are running the Unnerve ability. We're also running Lumberry because it's very possible we could get statused in this game. We can potentially set up a Dragon Dance in front of Jolteon, who maybe goes for a Thunder Wave to try and paralyze us, or maybe we get Flame Body burnt by the Moltres on the other side, even a T-Wave from Mesprit. Regardless of that, we can actually shake that status off with the Lumberry, get ourselves to +1 speed and attack with Dragon Dance, and the coverage of Dragon Claw, Poison Jab, and Earthquake hits the entire team. There's really not much that can handle this. Fourth mon we're bringing this week was our first overall draft pick. It's going to be Oberon the Cinderace with the Protective Pads item. Now, I really debated here going Choice Band or Protective Pads, but I ultimately thought that Protective Pads was the play, because if I go for a U-turn, which is good into quite a few Pokemon, it's really good into Ogerpon, it's really good in Hydreigon, Mesprit, and obviously just getting momentum is great. So if any one of those 3 mons are in, I will either hit them super effectively or they have to swap into something, take a chunk, and I get free momentum. However, because of our Libero ability, which I really want so that I can deal extra damage with Smackdown for the Moltres and Gunk Shot for the Primarina, it will turn us into the Bug type, which means we actually can get burnt by the Flame Body on Moltres. So it takes care of being able to be burnt. Also, it doesn't receive any Rocky Helmet chip if any of the mons on the other team are, which I do expect somebody to be Rocky Helmet on the other side. But obviously, these 4 moves pretty much cover the entire roster pretty well. I was originally going to be Court Change on this set, but last minute I ended up changing to Gunk Shot over the Court Change just because I wanted to be able to hit that Primarina really, really hard. We're rocking 184 speed with a Jolly Nature to outspeed everything other than the Jolteon, and then just max attack and the rest in HP. 2 mons left, and we need some hazard control here. So we've got the Rapid Spin on our Fortress. We've got Light Clay and the Sturdy ability. We've got Body Press, Reflect, Light Screen, Rapid Spin. So this is a dual screen variant that can also spin to get rid of hazards. It's not looking to do much other than that, but I do think screens can more easily allow some of my Pokemon to set up, such as the Haxorus or the CLODSIRE, if I can get in front of the right opportunity. 252 in HP, 232 in defense with the boosting nature, and just the leftovers into the special defense. And last but not least, we have Azumarill here. I think this thing is pretty good offensively into the team, and it is also a fantastic mon to cover for the Hydreigon. The only thing that Hydreigon can really hit us with decently is Belch, which is an item where you have to eat a berry first before you can even use it. Other than that, it's 2 stabs. Draco Meteor we are completely immune to. Dark Pulse we resist because of our fairy coverage. And the other big moves that it typically uses, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, things like that, we actually resist those too, and those aren't even stab for him. So with the Assault Vest item, Play Rough, Liquidation, Knock Off, Aqua Jet, we have enough speed investment here to outspeed basically a slow Primarina, which I do expect a pretty bulky version to come if it's coming. So I think we should outspeed that thing. Max HP, 100 into attack, 60 into the Spadef side of things. So we should actually deal pretty decent damage here. We should soak special hits, especially from that Hydreigon. And again, hopefully be able to outspeed Primarina and hit it with a Play Rough. So this is the full team that we're bringing this week, guys. If you want to screenshot it or take a look at it, this is the full spreads. Let me know what you think down below with the new graphics and with some of the new animation and editing I'm doing in the video. I'm trying to test my limits a little bit with some different things. I'm trying to improve, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the fight. Really looking forward to it. Shroomraver is an awesome person. It should be a good one. All right, guys, we are about to head into the battle with Shroomraver here. I am really, really excited about this one. I have mad respect for Shroomraver and his video production. He does a really awesome job. If you guys have never checked him out before, please go do so. He does this really awesome kind of detective theme with his videos. It is just very, very cool. I can't say much more than that, but looking forward to this match. So, honestly, this is everything I expected except Moltres. I thought for sure Moltres would come. I'm actually stunned that it's not here. I actually didn't think Ogerpon looked good into me. Part of me just wants to lead Zapdos because there's nothing on his team that hard beats Zapdos. It beats almost every mon on their team. I don't know that I want to see Mesprit or Hydreigon necessarily, but it does pretty good into everything. I don't think there's any terrible matchups. So I think we just start Zapdos and go from there. Best of luck to Shroomraver. This should be a good one. So this is not my first battle that I've played in this. I played my battles out of order, but I think this is the first one that's getting posted. So yeah, should be interesting. So I'll try and stay spoiler free. But Jon Snow, we're going against the Mesprit. I think here I just want to click Volt Switch because I mean, this thing can go for screens. I guess I could go for a Calm Mind weakness policy or something, but Volt Switch doesn't really hurt me, right? Also, what does this thing do to me, though? I could just Hurricane. I'm just gonna do that. He's gonna go for Rocks. Hopefully we land this. I would love this extra damage on it. So Stealth Rocks means it's probably not a setup variant, and we do miss the first Hurricane. Jon Snow, no, come on, buddy. All right. Do I just do it again? I can Volt Switch now, I guess, in case he swaps. The thing is, if he swaps on a Hurricane, it's probably to Iron Treads. But again, like if Iron Treads comes in, it's fine. We just Heat Wave. I guess I'll just Volt Switch to get in something else. I don't know what it's going to go for, though. It went for rocks. Like, it could be a screens plus rocks lead. So, turn 1 not going ideal. Obviously, rocks up on our side of the field can be kind of annoying. We do have Rapid Spin and Court Change, though, so we always have ways to get rid of him. So, he's going to swap out. He goes into Tread Flanders. So, this is going to be the Iron Treads. So, interesting. So, even though I showed Hurricane... It doesn't look like he's booster speed or anything. I guess he could be like Scarf, but I don't really care about that. And now I kind of just want a Heat Wave. Yeah, I mean, like he can go for Stone Edge or like Ice Spinner, but I don't really care about that. We're pretty physically defensive. And if we just hit a Heat Wave, like this should do a ton of damage. It's one of those things that's like, yeah, you can block the Hurricane or the Volt Switch, but what does it do? Okay, that's a good play, I guess. Knockoff's good. Do we get a para? We do not get a static para, unfortunately, but this time we do land the Heat Wave, and that does nothing. Oh my god, but it does get the burn. Okay. So this thing is probably Assault Vest, from what I'm seeing. So unfortunately, we missed our first Hurricane, but we get the burn on Heat Wave, which is massive. This thing can now no longer do any damage to us at all. Like, I can always roost up on this. This guy can't hurt me. I'm just going to Heat Wave again. I feel like he probably goes... I don't even know what he goes here. Like, back to Mesprit? He goes to Volt Switches. Okay, so he tries to get Cryo. That's fair. We do no longer have our heavy-duty boots, which is annoying because of the rocks. So we have to be a little careful. But who does he go into here? Does he go into Prim, imagining we're going for another Heat Wave? I don't know if he can risk that, because we could have went for Volt Switch, and if we do... Again, Primarina's slower than us, so if he's in, like, we can just click Volt Switch again. I don't know. Zapdos is just so good in this matchup. I thought... Yeah, I don't know. There's just not a lot of stuff that threatens Zapdos here. I guess Hydreigon probably comes in. It resists both Volt Switch and Heat Wave. Yeah, that's Hydreigon. So 3 heads. Okay. And we miss Heat Wave, which honestly wouldn't have done much damage, but that is annoying. We've missed twice already. But now I think I immediately go into Azu here. This is my dedicated switch-in. I am AV Azu because there's really nothing he can do to me unless he's literally like a Belch variant. Belch is like the only move that he can use that hits me well. Because we resist Dark, we're immune to Dragon, excuse me. So I don't know what he can really do here. I assume it's probably just a Draco because he wants to take out that Zapdos because that thing is a huge threat for him. But we go into Tyrion. I forgot I made this shiny. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. And he goes for sub. Okay. Are you leftovers? You're not leftovers. I don't know what he's subbing for, but I will play rough. Because I still don't think this guy can hurt me. Like, the coverage this thing gets, it gets, like, Flamethrower, it gets Focus Blast, obviously gets Dark Pulse Draco, but it doesn't get a Poison move, and it doesn't get an Electric move, so... I mean, it does get a Poison move. It gets Belch, I already said that, but... It goes for Focus Blast. So we eat the Focus Blast insanely well. He does land it. That was a crit, actually. So we take that little, even on a crit Focus Blast, that's pretty good. We do land the player off, the sub's going to be gone. And now we threaten a KO here. So now the question is, do I want to make a read? Because this guy has to swap out. Treads, Primarina, Ogerpon, Mesprit, Hydreigon, Jolteon. I'm going to go Knock. I'm going to go Knock here, just to get rid of an item and guarantee it. Because if he reads the player off and goes into Treads, I don't get a whole lot done. And I think Water Attack is decent, but if he goes into Ogerpon, I'm in a really bad spot. So I think Knockoff is always the play here. Just get rid of an item. And it's Tread Flanders. So this should be Assault Vest. Based on that damage earlier, I think this is AV. That actually does a decent chunk, and it is AV, which I think we already knew. Was pretty confident there. Does an Aqua Jet kill here? Aqua Jet kills here, I think. But that's like a super free Ogerpon switch for him if I go Aqua Jet. So, what do I want to be in? Brienne feels like a good play here because he can't really threaten it. And also, if he goes Ogre, Brienne is a really good mon to have in on it. Unless he, like, encores me into something, but... other than that, I think it's a good spot because this covers both treads and the hard swap into ogre. I guess he could volt switch too, but yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he volt switch in front of an aqua jet. I'm threatening a kill here. He goes into Jemima, who we've not seen yet, and that is ogre. Okay. So I'm really glad I made this play. Aqua jet would not have done a whole lot to this ogre pawn, and honestly, it would have given him like a free swords dance, which would have been pretty rough. So I like this. I do kind of wish we were heavy duty boost right now because our sturdy's broken. But we are light clay. Do I want to get light screen or reflect up? I think I go reflect no matter what. At least this way, if he like encores me the next turn, we will have our physical screen up for this ogre pawn. Because if he goes for like an SD here or something, and then encores my reflect, then, you know, we have screens up. Though I don't know if he would do that though, because I could very easily be unaware of CLODSIRE, and the sword stance doesn't do him a whole lot. So I feel like if anything, he's just either going to like U-turn or hard swap. I guess it depends on whether he wants to take a chunk here, but he probably thinks I'm either going for rapid spin or rocks, realistically, right? He is going to swap into something, so... I mean, he doesn't have a ghost type. He goes in Hydreigon, that makes sense. So he's going to threaten me out. We get reflect up. So at this moment, I wish I would have clicked light screen, but I think that was still the correct play every time. And now this thing does get flamethrower. I think we live any other hit, but we definitely don't live a flamethrower. We definitely don't live a flamethrower. I think we live any other hit. We just go into Azu again. It's unfortunate because the rocks are up. I probably should have just rapid spun before, but I'm thinking I can just court change him later. I also could go Claude, actually. I'm going to do that. Because I think he's going to focus blast, if anything. He's shown that. I'm going to go Claude here because if he flamethrowers, we should eat it really well anyway. And we might be able to just set up in front of this. He goes for focus blast. Okay. My other thought was if he Dracos, we could set up on this, but he doesn't make that hard read. He just goes focus blast, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. But we're still really healthy. And we have Shookaberry for the Iron Treads. So do I just want to set up a curse here? Because realistically, this thing, with what's set it probably is, doesn't really touch us. So... there's like a part of me that thinks... sorry, my dog's freaking out. There's a part of me that thinks Treads is coming in and I want to EQ, but I'm just going to curse because we have the Shookaberry in case it does come in. And it is Tread Flanders. There was a part of me that wants to EQ, but honestly, this is probably better because we're still Shooka. And I think we can just curse again. I don't know why we can't. He's burnt plus Shookaberry. I don't know why we couldn't just, like, curse up like crazy here. Now that he's seen us click curse, though, he could have Encore on Ogerpon. And I don't want him to go into Ogerpon and Encore into it, so I will just EQ to guarantee take this kill here. I probably should have cursed, but if he has Encore on Ogerpon, then I'm in a really tough spot. And he withdraws. So maybe he does have Encore. If that's the case, then this was the correct play. No, he goes into Primarina. Interesting. I don't think that was the play for him. We can kill with a Poison Jab, right? We're Water Absorb. I mean, he could be Torrent with Psychic Noise, which would be a good play by him. But Poison Jab should always kill, unless he's the Poison Resist Berry. Because Earthquake did 45, it looks like. So Poison Jab should always kill. Goes for Psychic Noise, and he is Torrent. So that does a decent chunk to us. A little annoying just because we can't recover right now, at least for a turn. He is the Poison Resist Berry, so well played. Well prepped by Shroom Raver. He's going to live that, actually. Do we take another one? Do I want to keep this thing healthy? I could go... I want to keep Samwell alive and healthy because genuinely, like, what does he have for this thing? Treads is burnt, and we still have our Shooka alive. We beat Ogerpon, we beat Hydreigon, we beat Jolteon, we beat, like, everything that he has with Samwell. So, if he, like, crits me and kills me, that would be really annoying. I could take a kill with a Poison Jab, I think I live it, but I kind of would rather just go into something else because I think... yeah, I'm going to go Aviazu here. I think this is another Psychic Noise because I don't think he risks going for a water attack, seeing as we could be Water Absorb. And I think we should soak this hit insanely well. I'm also pretty sure an Aqua Jet kills from here. And we actually have a little bit of speed investment, and I think we would probably outspeed. Liquidation guaranteed kills. So Play Rough can miss. Liquidation guaranteed kills. Aqua Jet is a roll, it looks like, or close. It might not kill. I think we might outspeed, though. If he's minimum speed, I think we do. I think we put enough EVs to outspeed min speed Prim. Or maybe like 12 speed Prim. Do I think he's faster? I feel like he went bulky. He went Poison Resist Berry, right? He's probably bulky. I'm going to Liquidation. He is faster. That's annoying. Our Assault Vest does keep us alive, which is really nice. But now we don't check the Hydreigon anymore, which is unfortunate. Liquidation will take out the Prim. So, first kill on the board for Azu. So we're up 1-0. That's a good thing. We don't have a super reliable check to Hydreigon. We kind of need to get CLODSIRE healthy at this point. But again, if we can get CLODSIRE back in and recover up, I think we can win with it. I didn't want to stay in and take the Psychic Noise. It was a good... Because if I stay in and take that Psychic Noise and take that kill, I'm sitting there at 100 HP. It's just... The Psychic Noise was a great play by him because I can't recover. He goes into Ogerpon. I think that's Jemima. Yep. And now, do I just sack this thing? Do I sack this thing? I think I'd rather keep it alive because it has priority with Aqua Jet, which could be really nice late game, actually. So if I can go into Fortress and spin away the rocks, Azu can still put in work late in the game. Yeah, I'm going to go Fortress here, I think. Because I only have one more turn of Reflect up. I can switch in on this Ogerpon. I can freely get a screen back up, Reflect or Light Screen. I can also get rid of rocks. There's a number of productive things I can do here on this turn with Fortress, so... He's just going to cudgel, which is fantastic. We're going to eat that like it's nothing. I think we took 13 from that. That is hilarious. And now Reflect is gone. Do I want to get a screen up or get rid of rocks? I kind of want to get a light screen up. Just looking at the mons that are left, Hydreigon is the biggest threat. So I think getting this light screen up could be pretty huge for me. And he is going to go into the Hydreigon. So the light screen is the right play. And now, question is, do I just stay in and body press this thing? I think I can go Samuel again, right? And recover up? Why can't I? He can't touch me, right? What does a Draco do to me? Through light screen. I mean, he's not going to Draco, I don't think. But I should be able to take 2 hits from this thing through light screen regardless. I believe after rocks anyway. And I can just recover back up. And even if he goes for sub again, which he does, that doesn't put him in a great spot. He's going to eat a citrus berry. Is this a belch set? It's got sub citrus. I was joking, but I was thinking earlier in prep that he could potentially run belch. He might actually have it with citrus berry. But I'm going to recover for free here. And if CLODSIRE gets back up to full health, I think we're cooking, honestly. I think we're cooking here. What does he do about this? Mesprit is like the only Pokemon that threatens us. Mesprit does kind of threaten us. It has to be offensive, though. If it's defensive Mesprit, we actually shake it off. And it's not that big a deal. I don't remember if that gets Psychic Noise. I knew Prim got Psychic Noise. I don't know if Mesprit does. It probably does. Does he stay in here? He's got a sub up. He wants to stay in, obviously. He could just go for a Draco, but I don't think Draco gets anywhere close to killing unless he crits, and he's going to swap out with the sub up. So CLODSIRE putting so much pressure on here. He's going to go direct Mesprit, but we get the big recover off, which is huge. So we don't even need to stay in here. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to just get CLODSIRE back healthy. And I think if we can get this thing in on anything but Mesprit, we can just set up curses and win the game. Because he doesn't have a good answer. So I think what do I not need anymore? Do I go Jon Snow here? I think so. Jon Snow isn't like necessarily needed for any one specific mon. It's just good in everything. So I'm just going to go here. Plus he swapped out on this last time. So he must not want to be in on Zapdos. Goes for Psycho Cut. I don't know if that's contact or not. He does not get parried though. I think we live one more based on that damage. We also might be faster. I don't think we have much speed investment at all, so this thing might outspeed us. Although it was a Stealth Rock lead, it's probably not fast, right? I'd rather sack Fortress, I think. I'd rather go into Fortress, especially if this is a physical Mesprit. We should take whatever hit it goes for. Unless it goes for Fire Punch, I guess. It goes for Psycho Cut. Okay. I think this thing gets Fire Punch, actually. It probably has it. Do I care? If it goes for anything other than Fire Punch, we just get rid of the screen here. And I think we have Court Change on Cinderace anyway, so if we lose Fortress, it's not the end of the world. I'll Rapid Spin. He does have the Fire Punch. And that does kill us. That sucks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was the play. Maybe I should have kept this guy alive and just sacked Azu, but I just think Aqua Jet late game will be nice. We don't have Court Change. I, in the builder, all week had Court Change, and then this morning swapped it to Gunk Shot. I forgot about that. I was originally Pyro Ball, Smackdown, U-turn, Gunk Shot. Or sorry, Pyro Ball, Smackdown, U-turn, Court Change. Shoot. I will go to Oberon here, just to deal a chunk of damage, but that is really unfortunate. I will U-turn, I think, because this thing shouldn't be weakness policy. That was one thing I was afraid of early, but since it's Stealth Rocks, I can't imagine it's weakness policy. Right? Would you really be weakness policy plus rocks? Man, this is actually tough because now my Azu dies to rocks. And I think my Zapdos might also. I feel really silly. I just was so confident that I had Court Change on this set. I don't. Shoot. So CLODSIRE kind of has to be the win con. And Azu we can use as a sack because I don't think it lives around a rocks. And I'm really dumb and thought I had Court Change. He stays in. Is he weakness policy? There's no way. With Stealth Rock, he is. Oh my god. Shroom Raver cooking out here. He's got weakness policy Mesprit with Stealth Rocks. I did not expect that. I would have thought if he was weakness, he would have been like Agility, Calm Mind or something. I don't remember if it gets Agility, but it gets Calm Mind, like Reflect, Stored Power, Draining Kiss. That's normally the weakness set. Do I just sack Azu here? Because I don't want to take a +2 hit on everything. I can't get rid of rocks anyway now. So yeah, I'll go into Azu. If he clicks a speed boosting move, we might just lose. If he doesn't, then we're fine. If he doesn't, then I can literally just go right back into Cinderace and click U-turn again. Yeah, Psycho Cut. Okay. I was like, I don't remember if this thing gets Agility. I know it gets Trick Room, but now we just go right back into Cinderace and U-turn again, right? Because we did over half. This thing doesn't get priority. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to go over and again. This should claim a kill, unless he wants to go into something else, but we will take Rock's Chip, which is unfortunate, but that's the price I got to pay here to make sure this Mesprit goes down before it's a problem. So I'll U-turn. And if he does swap out, I think we go into CLODSIRE for free because this is the only mon it can't set up in front of. I believe. So he either gives me this kill, which is great, or I think I can set up with CLODSIRE. I feel so dumb about the Court Change thing. I had it in my prep all week, and then I changed it this morning and completely forgot. Because I wanted Gunk Shot for, like, Primarina, because I was too worried about being in a weird spot. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I think we're still in a pretty good position in this game, but it can be spooky. He does swap out. So he swaps out the +2 Mesprit. So he needs that thing for something. I'm not sure what. And he just goes into Jolteon. Fortunately, this thing does not have static like Jolteon, or like Zapdos does, or else that would be a problem. That is a shitload of damage. Jolteon is now half health, which is great. And now this is... We do have Lumberry, Haxorus. Do I go Haxorus with Lumberry and just Dragon Dance because he can't T-Wave? Like, he can T-Wave us, we don't break out a para, or do I just go Clod? I'm going to go Clod. I don't think he has Encore on Ogerpon. I think he would have tried to make that play already if he does. And Jolteon really can't do anything to us. So, I'll Curse. I mean, this thing gets, like, Calm Mind, but, like, are you going to stay in front of a CLODSIRE? I can't imagine that, right? The only psychic move this thing gets is Stored Power. So it has to, like, boost up before it does that. So I think he's in a pretty tough spot. Treads is really chunked. Ogerpon's, like, the only healthy one, really. Mesprit's really chunked. Hydreigon's actually somewhat healthy because he swapped out after the citrus. He is going to withdraw. If this is Ogerpon, then it's not. It's not Ogerpon. Okay, he doesn't have Encore then. If he had Encore, he would be going there right now, I think. Because we would be clicking Earthquake here, and he would Encore us into it. So I really don't think he has it. So I think I literally just set up cursors for free in this thing's face. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have a reason to not go for another one, right? All right, so here's the deal. His best attack to hit me is like a Draco Meteor, which should do like 200-ish. Maybe a little less. I think Curse might be greedy. I think I can just Poison Jab. I don't know that I need a +2 right now. He goes for the Draco. This Poison Jab I don't think kills at +1. Yeah, no, not even close. But now we can recover here for free. Because unless he... I'm not even going to say it. Thank God. Okay, no crit. That's what I was going to say. Unless he crits, he doesn't kill us. But now we recover, and now we should even live through a crit. So that really shouldn't matter. So I think my play is always to recover again and just get back to full. Because if he does crit, we will be super low. We should live, but we'd be super low. So we just always recover and get back to full. I mean, this guy's going to have to swap out, right? Like, is he just going to... Unless he just wants to play the Draco crit game, which, honestly, I don't know what other solutions he has for this at this moment. I didn't expect this CLODSIRE to put in this much work, but I don't know what he does about this. Again, if he had Encore, I think he would have went for it already. Draco Meteor's going to hit. No crit. And he keeps dropping his special attack stat from hitting this attack. So we should get to full health. And now... Do I need to get to +2? I don't know, but I'm going to. I'm going to do it. Because why not? Like, I honestly, why wouldn't I go to +2? Because if, like, an Ogerpon comes in and cudgels me or something, gets a crit, that could do a ton of damage. Although the defense boost actually doesn't help versus crit, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't think he has a good answer. So I'm just going to curse. And if he keeps staying in and Dracoing and he gets a crit, I'll heal back to full. But I don't think I need to get to +3. I think +2 is fine. I think CLODSIRE can win this game. Everything is chipped except for Ogerpon, which I think we kill with a +2 Poison Jab. So he's going to swap. Goes into Lotus, which is Mesprit. Oh man, that's actually a little spooky. I think Psycho Cut is enhanced crit chance. Don't do it to me, man. Don't do it to me. I don't think it would kill anyway, but I have to Poison Jab here. I can't risk anything because he has enhanced crit chance with Psycho Cut. Like, that's the only way he can win this game. He's shown he doesn't have Encore. He has to crit me. Goes for it. That does not crit, but it does do a good chunk, actually. 134. So the Poison Jab will take it out. CLODSIRE on the board with a kill. Samwell. My guy Samwell come through. And I don't know what he goes into here. Treads, we would take the hit insanely well. Hydreigon again, can't do anything. This is the Jolteon. I don't know what it's going to go for. I think I just EQ here, I guess. Just take a kill. I can always recover on, like, anything else, I think. Maybe Poison Jab is the better play, I guess, in case he does go back into Hydreigon and try to start Dracoing me again. But I could just recover to full. I think I'm going to Poison Jab. Poison Jab +2 should kill this. And again, if he goes into... He goes for Stored Power, so he did have the Stored Power set. So he's got, like, Calm Mind, probably. But he doesn't have a turn to go for it. Poison Jab's going to take out the Jolteon. I think Poison Jab's the right play there because the only other switch he would probably make is into Hydreigon. Who would not, you know, who can basically, like, Draco Meteor me and do a chunk. And again, we're at about the range right now where we could die to a crit Draco. Yeah, his only win cons are a crit Draco or a crit Ivy Cudgel, which Cudgel, again, does have an increased chance, just like Psycho Cut, but it's like a 12.5% chance. It's not like it's anything crazy. It goes into Tread Flanders. And now, do I want to... He has Hydreigon, Treads, and Ogerpon. How much damage am I taking here? I think my play is always to recover. I'm going to curse, actually. I'm going to go +3. Because there's... It's the same thing. Yeah, he does nothing. I can get to +3 here for free, and now I can recover after this. I don't know if that was necessary, but just in case, I don't know if this is like a stupidly bulky ogre pawn or something. I don't know. And now I will recover. Again, with the burn, even if he crits, he doesn't kill me, so I feel like I can go for that play. This probably looks greedy. I don't mean to like drag this game out on him. Goes into ogre pawn on the hard swap. There's no way you have encore, right? There's no way. If you have encore, then well played. You've hidden it this entire game. I'm poison jabbing. There's no way you have encore. If you have encore, then I have no words, because I think he could have made this play ages ago. I think he just knew I was going to recover, and then he wanted to keep treads for a sack later, probably, or something. But he's got to crit Ivy Cudgel me to have a chance here. That's the only play. He's got to crit Ivy Cudgel, which is what, 12.5% chance? He got it. He got the crit. Does that matter? Does that matter? We're down to what, 110? We can't get rid of rocks. I think Zapdos and Zoomerl are dead to rocks. And Cinderace would be very low. We die to a Draco. Zoomerl's dead already, sorry. We could lose this game, right? If he Dracos me, I'm gonna poison jab. He misses the Draco. Okay. I was going to say, he got the crit on the 12.5% on the last turn, which otherwise that Ivy Cudgel would have done like 60 damage. But he got me within Draco range and then misses the Draco. So yeah, Pokemon giveth and Pokemon taketh, man. Sorry, GG's to Shroom Raver. Honestly, a very fun game. I'm just going to EQ and take this kill. Earthquake should never kill us at +3 and burn. It's going to do basically nothing. 70 something? Yeah, whatever. Not enough. CLODSIRE just coming through. Samuel popping off. I think he got 5 kills this game, which is really, really cool to see. Again, shout out to Shroom Raver. Excellent content creator. He's a phenomenal player as well. I think I did get lucky early in the game with the Heat Wave burn. Obviously, we missed a couple of attacks on Zapdos. We got crit by the Ivy Cudgel, so some RNG went against us too, but at the end of the day, that's Pokemon. So I don't know. That was a really fun game. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know if I'll say it in the intro and stuff like that, but basically I'm going to have 5 videos this week. I'm going to have 1 video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We've got 5 games in this stage, and I'm basically going to put 1 video out per day. So hope you guys enjoy this, and hopefully you can catch the rest of our run this week. Hopefully we can end up with a good record and get a bunch of points. We'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.